I had the signed letter from the dentist. I didn't think there was going to be a problem. And as I crossed, I could tell because there was about 5 policemen at the border. It's always a bit nerve-wracking going through, but there was around 5, and one of the policemen just totally dismissed the letter from my dentist. So I thought, oh no, I'm going to have problems here. So there was a bit of back and forth. And in the end, I said, look, can I have it por escrito? Can I have it in writing? Why you're not allowing me through? So they gave me the denegación de entrada en frontera.
You asked for it because you thought they weren't in the right?
Well, I thought they weren't in the right, but also to show my dentist why, because I booked an hour appointment with them. Somebody's got to pay for that. So basically, I got this form. They can basically reject you for about 9 reasons, and the reason they gave for rejecting me was that I didn't have accommodation and I couldn't show my means to stay there. They'd never asked me anything about the accommodation. When they asked me, what are you doing here? I said, I'm coming for a dental appointment. So I actually refused to sign it, but they've signed it on their side. But what I didn't realise is that they'd actually put a stamp in my passport, which basically means, and it looks like any other stamp. It basically means that I can't enter into Spain for 3 months. So the first time I discovered this was when I went over on the 16th of July. I was taking my elderly mother over with me. I'm her primary carer. She's Spanish. And she's recently come to stay with me. And I was taking her over, and it was so awful because people were flooding through to get to the fair. And I was stood there with my mum, and my mum was getting more and more upset. She couldn't understand because one policeman checked my passport and they said immediately, you've got a 3-month exclusion from Spain. And I'm presuming the Eurozone. And I was so upset. My mum was upset.
Because they didn't tell you anything about this when they returned your passport with the refusal letter. They didn't say you can't come back for 3 months now.
This is the thing. I can speak Spanish. So the guy just pointed to the stamp, but didn't say it meant that I couldn't get into. And I thought it was all odd because I said at that point on the 17th, I said, well, maybe I just book accommodation now and I can get through. And he says, well, no, you can't. And I thought that's because on that day they just rejected me and they'd given me this letter. Since I've spoken to a lawyer, I am going to take it as far as I can because it's so unjust.
You're going to fight it?
I am, definitely. Yeah. So I spoke to a lawyer on Thursday. I have to emphasise that I love Spain, so this isn't a rant against Spain. Most of my immediate family are Spanish. And this is what causes me the most kind of upset, really. Our 2 communities are intrinsically linked together, and it really has been quite upsetting because I think Spain is a beautiful country. I love the people, and yet the Spanish police authorities at the border seem to be unjustly stopping people from crossing over, even if they're within they applied the Schengen rules so strictly at the Gibraltar. I've not had a problem entering other borders into Spain. Never. My maternal grandmother was born in Puente Mayorga.
Just a few kilometres north?
Yeah, my paternal grandmother was born in Los Barrios. My mother was born in Ceuta, ironically, in a way, because that is a Spanish enclave. Gibraltar's always been a bit of a lifeline, during really tough economic times in Spain. And there's been many, recently, but also, post-Civil War years was terrible.